Do you trust your own mind? Or has someone been rewriting your reality, making you question every thought, every memory, every truth you hold dear? Welcome to the insidious world of gaslighting, where love, trust, and even your sense of self can be twisted into tools of control. This isn't just manipulation, it's a psychological siege that leaves you doubting your own sanity. Are you ready to uncover the signs before you're lost in the fog? Gaslighting begins subtly, like a whisper in the dark. It's a glance that makes you second-guess, a comment that stings just enough to linger. Named after the 1944 film Gaslight, where a husband manipulates his wife into believing she's going mad, gaslighting is a deliberate tactic to erode your confidence and make you dependent on the manipulator's version of reality. It's not a single act, but a campaign, a slow drip of psychological poison that seeps into your mind. In relationships, gaslighting is especially devastating because it exploits your vulnerability, your desire to trust the person you love. Picture this: you're in a new relationship, swept up in the thrill of connection. Your partner is charming, attentive, the kind of person who makes your heart race. But then something shifts. They deny saying something you clearly remember. "I never said that. You must be confused," they insist, their tone calm but edged with pity. You pause, uncertain. Did you mishear? They dismiss your concerns, laugh off your questions, or accuse you of overreacting. Over time, these moments pile up, each one chipping away at your certainty until you're questioning your own mind. Take Rachel, a 30-year-old marketing manager who fell for Liam, a charismatic artist. At first, he was a dream, thoughtful, passionate, always knowing just what to say. But 3 months in, the cracks appeared. He'd promised to meet her for dinner, then claim he never made the plan. "You're always imagining things," he'd say with a chuckle, as if she were a child. When she found a text from another woman on his phone, he insisted she was seeing things and needed to calm down. Rachel began to doubt her memory, her instincts, even her worth. This is gaslighting's first sign: denial and dismissal. The manipulator rewrites events, making you question what you know to be true. Gaslighting thrives on confusion. The manipulator's goal is to destabilize you, to make you rely on them for clarity. They might trivialize your emotions, saying, "You're too sensitive," or "You're making a big deal out of nothing." These phrases aren't just dismissive, they're weapons, designed to make you feel irrational. Over time, you start apologizing for your feelings, second-guessing your reactions. For Rachel, it was Liam's constant refrain: "You're overthinking everything." She began to silence her doubts, fearing she was crazy or too much. This is the second sign: invalidation. Your emotions, once a source of strength, become a liability. The third sign is deflection. When confronted, gaslighters never engage directly. They twist the narrative, turning the blame back on you. "Why are you always trying to start a fight?" they might say, even when you're calmly raising a concern. Or they all project their behavior onto you. "You are the one who is lying." This tactic keeps you on the defensive, scrambling to prove your innocence instead of addressing their actions. Rachel tried to talk to Liam about his late-night disappearances, but he'd accuse her of being controlling or paranoid. She'd end up apologizing, desperate to restore peace while he sidestepped accountability. Gaslighting doesn't just distort your reality, it isolates you. The manipulator might subtly criticize your friends or family, planting seeds of doubt about their loyalty. "They don't really care about you," they'll say, their voice dripping with concern. Or they'll frame your loved ones as threats to the relationship. "Your friends are jealous of us." The goal is to cut you off from external perspectives, leaving you reliant on the gaslighter for validation. Rachel noticed Liam's irritation whenever she spent time with others. He'd sulk, claiming she was choosing them over him. Slowly, she pulled away from her support system, her world shrinking to just Liam. The stakes are staggering. Gaslighting doesn't just hurt, it rewires your brain. Studies show that prolonged exposure to psychological manipulation can lead to chronic anxiety, depression, and even PTSD. The constant self-doubt triggers a stress response, flooding your system with cortisol, which strengthens neural pathways tied to fear and uncertainty. You might know something's wrong, but the gaslighter's voice echoes in your mind. You're imagining things. You're too emotional. You're the problem. The psychological toll is compounded by the betrayal of trust. Gaslighters exploit your empathy, your hope, your willingness to see the best in them. Your love becomes their leverage, your trust, their battlefield. Consider David, a 35-year-old teacher who met Sophie at a bookstore. She was witty, charming, and seemed to share his love for literature. But soon, her behavior turned unsettling. She'd rearrange his schedule, claiming he'd agreed to plans he didn't recall. When he questioned her, she'd laugh, saying, "You're so forgetful, it's adorable." If he pushed back, she'd cry, accusing him of attacking her. David began to doubt his memory, keeping a journal to track conversations. This is another sign: hypervigilance. Victims of gaslighting often become obsessive about documenting events, desperate to anchor themselves to reality. The manipulator's power lies in their ability to blend in. Dr. Robin Stern, author of The Gaslight Effect, explains that gaslighters are often charismatic, blending charm with control. They exploit the honeymoon phase, when you're most open to their influence. Their tactics are gradual, a comment here, a denial there, building a web of doubt that's hard to escape. By the time you notice the red flags, you're already entangled. For David, it was Sophie's ability to pivot from affection to accusation, keeping him off balance. One moment she'd shower him with praise, the next she'd claim he was ruining everything. This push-pull dynamic is a hallmark of gaslighting, creating an emotional roller coaster that keeps you hooked. Gaslighting can escalate to outright fabrication. The manipulator might invent events or conversations, insisting they happen despite your protests. "We talked about this last week. You agreed," they'll say, their conviction unshakable. Or they'll rewrite your shared history, claiming you were the one who started an argument or broke a promise. This tactic is disorienting because it challenges your core memories. Rachel once confronted Liam about a cruel comment he'd made, only for him to insist, "That never happened. You're making it up to hurt me." She began to wonder if she was losing her grip on reality. The final sign is self-blame. Gaslighting convinces you that you're the problem. You apologize for things you didn't do, take responsibility for the manipulator's actions, and strive to fix yourself to keep the peace. This is the gaslighter's ultimate victory. When you internalize their narrative, believing you're flawed, irrational, or unworthy. Rachel spent months trying to be the perfect partner for Liam, exhausting herself to meet his ever-shifting demands. David, meanwhile, felt guilty for questioning Sophie, convinced his doubts were a sign of his own failings. This self-blame traps you in a cycle of submission, where the gaslighter's control feels like your choice. The damage is profound. Victims lose their sense of self, their trust in others, their ability to navigate the world without fear. The brain, under constant stress, struggles to distinguish truth from lies. Relationships with friends and family fray as you withdraw, ashamed of your confusion. The gaslighter's voice becomes a constant companion, undermining your every thought. But there's hope. Recognizing gaslighting is the first step to breaking free. Pay attention to the signs: denial of your reality, invalidation of your emotions, deflection of blame, isolation from support, and the creeping sense that you're always wrong. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it is. To escape, anchor yourself to reality. Keep a journal of events, save messages, or confide in someone you trust. External validation can cut through the fog of gaslighting. Set firm boundaries and don't waver. A healthy partner respects your perspective. A gaslighter dismisses it. Seek support from friends, family, or a therapist who can help you rebuild your confidence. If you're in deep, plan your exit carefully. Gaslighters often escalate when they sense you pulling away. Rachel began recording Liam's contradictions, sharing them with a close friend who helped her see the truth. She left, blocking his attempts to reel her back in. David, too, found freedom by reconnecting with his family, who reminded him of his worth. Both are now rebuilding, proof that escape is possible with courage and clarity. Here's the twist. Gaslighting isn't always out there. It can lurk within. We've all doubted someone's feelings, dismissed a concern, or twisted a story to avoid blame. The line between misunderstanding and manipulation is thin, drawn by intent. So ask yourself, Are you listening to your partner or rewriting their truth? Are you building trust or sowing doubt? In relationships, the greatest danger is not recognizing the gaslighter in yourself. Love should clarify, not confuse. It should lift you up, not tear you down. This is a battlefield of the mind, and gaslighting is its stealthiest weapon. Arm yourself with awareness. Know the signs, trust your truth, and protect your sanity. The cost of ignoring gaslighting isn't just a broken relationship, it's a fractured self. Don't let someone else rewrite your story. Step out of the shadows, reclaim your reality, and choose a love that honors your truth. Because in the end, the only voice that matters is your own.